This is English, but the concept is true in all languages. 95% of all investors invest for capital gains. Okay. What Kenny and I invest for is cash flow. So very simply, what capital gains is, it doesn't make a difference what asset it is. Let's say you buy a stock, or you buy a house, or you buy gold. So let's say you pay $10 for it, and by magic it goes up to $15. So it could be a house, gold, car, anything, stock. So what you have here is a $5 capital gains. And cash flow is simply you have an asset and it's throwing off money. So what Kenny says, he has $1 million a month coming in. My wife and I have about $300,000 a month coming in, whether we work or not. It's not a lot of money. In America, that's not big money. But it's about $3 million a year without working for me. It's $12 million for Kenny. Where most people in their retirement accounts are going for this here. You know, they hope the stock goes up, they hope the real estate goes up and stuff like this. We want our money now. Okay. So two basic words, capital gains, cash flow. There's other words for the same words. This is called portfolio. So stock guys call it portfolio. And this is called passive. So a lot of times there's the same words for the same different words for the same concept here. So this is Tom Wheelwright. And big hand for him, please. Tom, real quick, what's the difference in tax between these two?
Well, this is taxed a lot higher than this. This one we can get to a zero tax. This one will always pay tax. So that's the difference.
So the average person who's hoping the price goes up, the stock going up, gold goes up, real estate goes up, they're over here.
Right.
Kenny and I are here because we don't want to pay tax. Good.
Only it actually gets worse. If you do this in your retirement plan, you're taxed even higher. So retirement plans make this even worse. So how many of you pay tax? Raise your hand. Good, thank you. And how many of you would rather not pay tax? Raise your hand. Okay, and how many of you know somebody or suspect you know somebody who's not paying tax because they cheat on their taxes? Raise your hand. Oh, look at that. And I travel the world with Robert, teaching entrepreneurs and investors like you how to permanently reduce your taxes. Now, every time Robert and I were in 10 different countries last year. And we were in Africa and Australia, and we were in Europe and Asia. And everywhere we went, by the end of the event, there would be at least one person that would come up to me and say, "You can't do that here." And I'm going, really? I mean, seriously, I travel halfway around the world to teach you how to reduce your taxes, and your response is, "You can't do that here?" So as Robert and I traveled the world, I always look at the tax law of the country I'm going to, right? That's fair. Because you think, everybody thinks, well, my tax law is different. Well, I've been all over the world. Everybody's tax law is the same. The principles are the same, the details are different. And here's what I've learned as I've traveled around the world. How you earn your money determines how much tax you pay. How you earn your money determines how much tax you pay. So on average around the world, and Spain you're above average, an employee pays about 40% in tax. An employee with a good job will pay about 40% in tax. Okay? Now these employees, sometimes they think, oh, I'd really like to be an entrepreneur. And I'd really like to work for myself and have that freedom to work for myself. And so they move down here and become a specialist, a small business owner, an internet business owner. And here they pay 60%. Because here, the employee is paying some taxes and the employer is paying some taxes. Here, you're both the employee and the employer. So you pay both sets of taxes. So we think about that. You're going to move from here to here. And what it's going to do is, for most of you, will just push you into a higher tax bracket. So you will work harder and make less money. But there's a solution to that. The solution is over here. Because the rules, the tax rules are different on this side than they are on this side. And I'll explain why in just a minute. Over here, a big business owner, 500 employees or more, they get tax benefits. The government wants to encourage big businesses because they want jobs, right? The government wants to create jobs, and the way they do it best is big businesses. So these people, on average, pay about 20% in tax. You go, that's not fair. Except what's happening is the government is saying, look, if you'll create jobs, we'll give you a tax break so you create more people who will pay a higher tax. So the employees pay the tax, not the employer. But then the true entrepreneurs, those who are raising capital like Ken does and Robert does, those who are building buildings like this and creating resorts and doing all sorts of energy development, agricultural development, they even do a step better. Because these people can pay zero tax. Now, just by show of hands, see if you're still awake. How many of you would rather be over here than over here? Raise your hand. Very good. Give yourselves a round of applause. Good, good, good.
And the Tom is saying is you don't have to break the law. The key that we want to drive across to you, what Tom educated me on, you want to be a good citizen and partner with the government. You want to do what the government wants done. So you have to be an entrepreneur to do that. For example, the reason Kenny and I get large tax breaks is we build houses. So Kenny has 10,000 units. I have about 5,000 or 6,000. I'll lose count after a while. I have 4 houses that are liabilities and approximately 6,000 that are assets. Does that make sense, you guys here? So I get no tax breaks for my 4 houses, but I get huge tax breaks because I provide housing. I also have huge tax breaks because I have oil. I have oil wells. The government, U.S. government wants energy, oil, and coal, because we don't want to be dependent upon Saudi Arabia. So they give you huge tax breaks for drilling for oil. I get no tax breaks if I buy stock.